Hello, my name is Lou Daniels. I'll be your guide for the Stick Marsh today. The Stick Marsh is an impoundment that was put together by the local farmers and the Florida Water Management District. The Stick Marsh comprises of 6,500 acres of water. The water is separated by a deep canal between two areas. The first impoundment is called the Stick Marsh. Now the second impoundment is called the Farm 13. The Stick Marsh impoundment, where the place got its name from, was when it was early days, was nothing but brushbuck, palm trees and palmettos. During the flooding time, all of that got flooded along with the farm area, which is on the other side. So both sides of the marsh are separated by, like I said, this deep canal. The area is a joint effort between the local farmers and the Florida Water Management District. The Florida Water Management District got the land donated from the farmers so they could make this an area to control the floods during the hurricane season and heavy rain season. What the farmers got out of it was there's a middle gate, and we'll take you there today, where they can dump water into the Stick Marsh in case their fields get flooded, or else they can pump water into the area in case of a drought. You'll see there's a pump station, and you'll see the area today. Over here to the left, as you can see, there's an area called the rookery. Now what the rookery is a place where birds hatch and have their young ones. Mostly they're arrogates and roseate spoonbills. The marsh is populated with a lot of aquatic creatures, mainly otters, alligators, and other types of animals. The fish species here are largemouth bass, brim, speckled perch, catfish, and of course some rough fish called the bowfin or mudfish and gar. The largest bass caught here to date was caught by, I believe, Captain Jim Porter, and it was around 15 pounds. This area is very well noted among bass fishermen, and I, being a bass fisherman myself, have fished here since its opening in 1968. People that have been here and have filmed here has been ESPN, Within Fishermen, there's also been Bill Dance and Roland Martin and others, many others. People come from far away to fish this area because of the abundance of largemouth bass. The past year, I caught 2 bass on consecutive days, each weighing somewhere in the 10-pound area. 30 and 40 bass days are not uncommon in this area. You'll see some of this area when we go on our trip out through the marsh. But for now, I will load the boat up, get ready, and we'll be on our way. Okay, we're about to leave the dock right now. We're going to head over to the rookery first to give you a shot of some of the birds' nest. Now, about 2 weeks ago, the birds were all beginning to hatch there, and there were little birds everywhere. I don't know how many of the birds will be today, but we'll see some birds because you can see them. The arrogates are there all over the bushes right now, but the arrogates and spoonbills had their little ones there, and last week all the little ones were real little bitty tiny birds, and they were flopping and flapping everywhere, and that's where they learned to fly, over there. So we're going to head over right now toward the rookery. The rookery is a small island in the middle of this area. Right now we're in the basin where the ramp is. Although there are 2 impoundments called the Stick Marsh and Farm 13, there are several side areas where the dams are and where the ramp is. The first area we're going to visit, like I said, will be the rookery. The majority of these birds are white arrogants. There are also roseate spoonbills. We'll see if we can find some of them. But you can tell these are arrogants with the little yellow notch on top of their head. Notice the sign here, it says important bird area, please keep out. That's because this is the rookery. Now here's the other island on the other side, and you can see there are also birds on the other side. Now I can't go in there because I don't want to disturb the birds, but I can go on the outside and show you where all the birds are. There are thousands of arrogants here, and also those roseate spoonbills, which are pink in color from eating shrimp. And hopefully we'll get to see some of them. But right now, all you're seeing is arrogants. Now we're going to make another sweep by here, and then we're going to go down to the other side of this place and see if we can see any roseate spoonbills. Those are the pretty pink birds that are here. Sometimes, and I've seen them in the past, you don't see them very often, but sometimes we will get different kinds of birds down here, such as the sandhill cranes, and sometimes we even get flamingos. I've seen a flock of flamingos here a few times, but they're not here very often. They're more of a saltwater bird. This is a freshwater area, so the saltwater birds don't really come here as much. But they have, and the same thing with pelicans. In the wintertime, we get all the white pelicans from Louisiana, and they come down here, and the marsh is just full of white pelicans. Now, basically, we're going to head out into the first area of impoundment called the Stick Marsh. Now, like I said, the area was full of palmettos and palm trees and everything. Now, you got to understand, this area was flooded in 1968. So a lot of the trees and the other stuff have died off, but there's still a lot of stumps and everything else underwater. But this area is a mecca for fish and wildlife. It's just a great place. That's the entrance to the Stick Marsh. Okay, as you see those vultures in the treetops, this is where the vultures roost in the evening. There's only a few left here in the morning right now, but come evening time, there'll be 20, 30, 40 vultures all up in this, high up in those trees. And that's where they roost. Now you've seen where the arrogants roost, and now you've seen where the vultures roost. Now we're going to enter into the Stick Marsh proper itself. This is one of the side canals that lead out to the Stick Marsh. You have to go down this canal and across the other one. These canals are somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 and 30 foot deep. This is how the farms got their water before this was all flooded. They put water in these canals and stored rainwater and other water, and that's how they watered their fields. But now it's really nice because they have a floodgate that they can water their fields with. They don't have to rely on the rain or anything else. They got a big storage tank here, which is the lake itself. Okay, now this is the second canal that we're going up. We have now made a right turn into this canal. This is another canal. This canal here is the canal that divides the Stick Marsh to the right and Farm 13 to the left. This is how the area was divided prior to it flooding. This canal here is about 20 foot deep. You'll notice on both sides of the canal here, you'll see a reed stand. Some of the reed stands have been washed away due to hurricanes and storms and that. There used to be just a line of reed stands on both sides, very high going down here, but they have long since disappeared. Up here on the left, as we go up there, you'll find a little shed. And what this shed is for, in case of lightning storms, which Florida gets an awful lot of, you can pull your boat up, get under that shed. They have a lightning rod so you can't get hurt or hit, and you can stay under that shed while it's raining. And that's a nice feature that the Florida Wildlife Commission has put in. We're about to enter Farm 13 here. Oh, yeah. going to be a little rough because it's awful windy today, but the wind has made it a little bit cooler for us, so that makes it nice for us, but a little bit rougher to film because of the shaking of the camera and that. But we are now entering into Farm 13. I don't know how we're going to be able to do here because of the wind, but we'll see. We'll try it and we'll see what happens. We have come across Farm 13. We had to run all the way to the east side because that's where the wind is blowing out of to get into some calmer water. Now over this levee on this east side is where all the farms exist today. This is farmland that they're still farming today, both truck farms and citrus. This is the area that they water with the pumps in the middle at the middle floodgate, which you'll get to see later on. But this is the levee that separates the farms from Farm 13. They used to farm all of this land. All of this land used to be farmed a long time ago, but it was donated to the flood control district or the state of Florida, and they made it an impoundment for holding floodwaters back and different things like that. You'll see it as we go. Here we go. We're headed toward the middle floodgate. Middle floodgate right now we're at right now. This is what the farmers donated the land for, so they could have control of the water. Behind the gate, the floodgate, there's a big pump station, and they pump water into the farmland when it's dry and out of the farmland when it's wet. Here's, like I said, the middle floodgate. This is what the farmers donated this land for, so they could control the water to their farm, so it didn't get too much and it didn't get too little. Now the floodgate, unlike there are two dams on this impoundment too, but this is primarily just a floodgate to control the floods in the farmlands. Basically, like I said, the water pumps in and the water pumps out. On top of this floodgate, we'll go by it and we'll give you a better look at the floodgate. But on top of the floodgate, you'll see all those birds. Those are all anhingas. And an anhinga is a kind of an invasive species of birds that have come from, I don't believe, the Orient or somewhere, that eat fish, and they harm the ecosystem, but basically I believe they're protected, so there's nothing you can do about it. We're now entering the backwater area where one of the dams for the marsh is located. This dam is located on the southeastern end of the Stick Marsh. Basically on the Farm 13 side. The other dam is located on the western side, which is down on the other side of the Stick Marsh. Now the dams control the water flow into two different areas. This dam controls the water flow going and coming from another lake area called Garcia. On the other side of this dam is another impoundment handled by the Florida Water Management, which is called Lake Garcia. Now you're going to see a few fishermen down here. This is a good local spot for fishermen, but it's really great when the fishermen are fishing and the water is running out of the dams. Today I doubt if the water will be running out of the dams. We haven't been able to see a lot of wildlife today because it's so windy. Normally we'd see gators everywhere. This place is just full of monster gators. Now the gators are large in here primarily because this is a restricted area and there's no firearms and no hunting in this area. So the gators are free to roam free. That's why in this area you see no snakes at all because the gators have eaten all the snakes, and you see very few turtles. You see a turtle every once in a while, but not very much. The gators feed on them because they're water dwelling, but they'll also catch other small animals such as raccoons or anything that comes to the edge of the water, and they'll even catch other fish. And there used to be a family of otters down here. Now I haven't seen them in a long time, and it's primarily, I don't know if the gators got them or what, but I doubt it. The otters are pretty good about being able to move fast and that, a lot faster than the gators can. Located in this area is a sunken barge. Now, a sunken barge, you wonder why there would be a sunken barge in this area. Well, there's a sunken barge in this area because when they come in here and built this impoundment, they brought in dredges and a lot of other things on a barge. Well, they got the barge in here, but they couldn't get it out. So they took all the stuff off the barge and sunk the barge right over here in an area right offshore. It makes it excellent for fishing and all that. So that area is an area we call the sunken barge area, and a lot of people fish this sunken barge area. You'll notice that the water is a lot calmer in here because we're kind of in a bay here, where before we were out in the middle of Farm 13. Now the barge is located right here along the shore here, exactly precisely where, I don't know. It's been, you know, like I said, 1968 when they dropped it in the water, but it's still here, and if you fish here, you'll get hung up on it at different times. So that's why we know it's still here. What we're going to do is stop the fish a minute or two here. So maybe the fish will be congregating in here. Basically, I'm going to use what they call a rattle trap or a one knocker, or actually it's what it is. It's a lipless crankbait, and we're going to try that for a little bit.
How many pounds do you think it is?
Probably about 2 pounds. Not a very big one, but it's a fish. Not a very big one. This just shows you there's tons and tons of fishing. Here we go. And this, one thing about the Stick Marsh, it's always a catch and release area.
How big is he?
He's probably about 5 pounds. So we're going to quit fishing here, and there's plenty of fish here, but we want to film the rest of the marsh. So basically we're going to quit fishing. This is the first time in my life I've ever left fish. And their fish are here, and they're look at the guy behind you. He's catching them, and everybody's catching fish here. And that's why people love the Stick Marsh. And another reason is the water. So here we go, back in the water. We're entering an area right now called the stump fields. And basically what the stump fields is an area where they cut a bunch of trees down, and there's a bunch of stumps. Oh, now you'll notice we hit one right there. There are all kinds of stumps in here. But during the spawning season, when the fish are spawning, they come in here and they spawn by the hundreds. Last year I caught 50 one day and 50 another day. So record numbers of of catches are nothing in here. In fact, last year I caught one 10-pounder on one day and I caught another 10-pounder on another day. So this is a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful spot to fish in. I'd fish here today and catch one or two, but the wind is blowing so bad I'm liable to get hung up on the stumps and not be able to get out of here. So basically all we're going to do is film the area and then move on. Over here to the right, beyond the stump field, is an area they call the nursery. And again, the reason it's called the nursery is this is where the fish spawn. There's the stump field they spawn in, and they spawn in the nursery. So those are two discrete areas. And during January, February, and March, you can catch tons of fish in here, and big fish. Every year they catch them in here. So this is a good area to fish in. Now you'll notice as we were scanning the shoreline, you'll notice some spots where there's rocks in that. Now, the Florida Fish and Game people have come in here and put rock in that so these levees wouldn't wash away. Right on the other side of this levee is another dam or another canal which you can't get to, which leads down to Blue Cypress Lake down in South Florida, somewhere down south of here. But they put these rocks net in here to keep the levee from washing away. We're going to head back right now because it's terribly windy in here and it's almost too hard to control anything. So we're going to head back and I'm going to show you the rear end of the other estuary where the other dam is. As I mentioned earlier, there were two dams on this impoundment. I'm wrong, I forgot one. There's a third dam, and that's this dam over here to the right. And this dam to the right is the dam that goes into Canal 54. So there's two dams as well as a floodgate that I showed you, that middle floodgate. So there's three dams in this compoundment. One all the way down on the southeast corner, one on this eastern side right here. This is right next to the boat ramp, and then there's one farther on down, and I'll show you the one farther on down. But basically there's three dams and one water inlet gate. So that's what's on. That's what controls the water levels in and out of this place. So right now we'll be going down the canal on the back side. This is the back side of the Stick Marsh. The ramp is over here to the left of us. We're going down here to the final dam. You've seen two dams so far and a water inlet intake. And there's another dam down at the end of this one. And this dam leads into another canal which is called Big M. And Big M goes all the way down into Blue Cypress, Lake Blue Cypress. So that's really the essence of the water control in this area. As you can see, this is the campsite. It's very primitive. but this is the only place on the Stick Marsh you can camp. You can't camp in the parking lot or anything like that. This is the only area you can camp. If you could see, I don't know if you'll be able to see with the photos that we took, if you could see the table and that there. But anyway, there's a table there. The weeds have grown up because nobody's been there for a while. But this is the only area that you can camp in the Stick Marsh proper. And you got to be a little bit brave because there are gators and other things here, and all kinds of other animals and creatures that are creatures of the night. But you know, if you're a true camper, none of that bothers you. And I've camped out in here plenty of times, and I've, you know, never been bothered. The only thing I've ever seen was raccoons. So that's it. That's pretty much the end of what's happening at the Stick Marsh.